have another game where they go out early, they could drop again from 4th to 9th like T4 did in that last game.
Yeah, it's possible. In 4th to 9th, you're losing a lot of points, aren't you? There's a lot of games that will you'll struggle to get back on top after that, especially when we've only got 2 games of Storm Point left to go. Xenox, and as you can see, we're pulling up right now. Dropship has almost completed its path south to north, so always just advantages the teams who get dropped off first, just a little bit, not too much, just a little bit. MDY, one of the crypto teams, are going to knock out that drone to try and get the zone information. This time, unlike last time, it does not favor them.
Yeah, and unlike last time, we don't go down to fish farms. We don't get that crazy southeastern game and fish farms. Even on a map like Storm Point, which is already going to be as open as it is, fish farms really just brings it to its extreme. It looks like, though, we are going to be heading towards Cascade Falls, which is right on top of Moist Esports, who don't really need a whole lot to really go their way, sitting in 3rd at the moment. When we think about how much more they could really get from this lobby with 2 games remaining, this included, can they catch Spirit Ram? Potentially, yeah. Can they catch Streamfire? Probably not. It would take 2 monster performances. Again, they would have to do more than just double their points in 2 games to what they've got in the last 4. I will say, though, you know, I do wonder if they do perform well here, match 5, Buram have a bit of a sleeper game, that 2nd place could very much be up for grabs, and that would be massive for them and their chances, of course, of maintaining a top 4 position.
Yeah, 21 points is nothing to sneeze at, Xenox. That's how many split points you'll grab in that 2nd position. Bit of a drop there from 25 at first, but, you know, that's how we go, rewarding those teams who can get to the top of a 20-team lobby, which is never an easy feat when you're playing against the best of the best. See a team up here. They got the hot zone, actually, at the wall.
Buram again moving early. Sorry to cut you off there, Gino, but
that's right.
It's literally happened, I want to say, almost every single game so far that we've had today. Buram on the move early, going for compounds, going for positions early, playing off of got gaps on that Watson. This is going to be like the 5th match in a row. They're literally already on top of Cascade Falls, playing off of this green circle. So the stark contrast between them and a team like Dreamfire, which is happy to play a little bit slower, a little bit later, play those edge, play for those kills, it's paramount. To be fair, credit to Buram, it's working. They're sticking to their guns. They're moving early, going for position.
Yeah, and they're reading the rings actually quite well. That's why they've been, you know, just mopping up those the ends of the fights, the ends of a couple of games so far in this series with such ease, because they have gifted themselves the god spots. I shouldn't say gifted, you know. I generally think they've been making some really good reads as far as these circles do go. You can see right now they are taking the spot in where the spider caverns are, and 20th guaranteed. Well, they're taking a nap on the floor. At least Rico is, as well as Trent. This is a 2v3 against Stinky B, by the way.
I was going to say, rough day for Stinky B today, unfortunately. They did okay, in fairness, against Dreamfire. But down in Fish Farms in that last match, they did enough to sort of just hold on for a bit. They do get at least 2 kills here on Tarikason and Trent. Got to be careful to not just be standing in the open like that for too much of a time.
Yeah, Leaf tries to get some R301 beams in from downtown, just as they stop for a moment to try and loot his teammates' banners. Managed to get himself up to purple, but you see there's 3 shield cells left. 1 battery, he's going to use that last one up right now. And the other 2 players pulling in, they've decided they should probably take this fight a little bit more seriously, even though they've managed to grab the first 2 kills. There we go. Even the focus of attention from the Seer is going to get that exact information on him. Forced out with grenades. This is not looking good for Leaf.
Playing this position well. Leaf's done alright, though, to get close with the Mastiff. So much so it deserves the knock and does find it. Unfortunately, Hizzy was there to cover and at least get the kill back. 20th guaranteed. They are, unfortunately, living up to their name. 2 matches in a row now. Match 4 and match 5. Storm Point has not been playing to them. So we shift over to Emmanuel. not the best of positions for A4. They also didn't really have the best of times in that last match either. It was the solo effort. No surprise to see Dreamfire winning their fight here. And unfortunately for Manuel, doesn't seem like they're going to have a play getaway this time to salvage as a solo. Chambers will fall. Team will fall. 2 teams gone early on here in match 5.
Couple of early casualties. Certainly things have changed since week 1, where we were worried that Apac South was going to change its, position as an aggressive region. One sees action throughout these games. And the further and further we've gotten to the season, Xenox, the more and more it feels like we've been going back to our roots.
Dreamfire definitely leading the example, at least today. As Truth Esports gone as well. 3 squads all eliminated inside of the opening round. I wouldn't even be surprised if we lose another 1 or 2. Especially with this kind of circle north of Cascade Falls. Very open. Have to play the terrain. Team Mop and DNZ now. Joker pushing aggressively. SA already low on armor behind. Bowler with a good high ground advantage. Eeks on over. Gets 1. Gets maybe 2 from this as well. DNZ have lost Joker. Bolin has to fall back. Cracked. Just flash. Team Mop have been alright today in their team fights. They don't go down easy.
Still looking to finish this one off. A 104 with the Mastiff. Yeah, that'll do it. See you later, DNZ. Team up. Just outside the circle, but it's pulling pretty north. So potentially some teams, maybe they'll decide to Valk ult just in front of them. That'd be something they'd like to see. Just falling into their lap, as I think, you've opined once or twice today.
I don't think there's going to be much of that here with this kind of circle. It's shifting over towards the east, which it's not really going to be very kind for, I want to say, almost the majority of the teams, I think maybe there's only one team that might be somewhat happy with this, and it's SRY. Which has got a little bit quiet. They had a decent match 1, and since then have not really been able to replicate that. But this Eastern shift is really going to throw a spanner in the works.
Yeah, Athen 505 looking good. Teams like SRY a bit further down are happy. Moist, they went for a very central position. They've got no further beacon knowledge. And that'll probably work out okay for them for now. But as we move into that eastern circle you've talked about, Xenox, they are unfortunately going to be outside in the building that they're in. So someone like Ant, who's much further away, probably going to be in the same boat. That's it, Ant, playing without a Valk. So, no options. They got to fight their way through. They don't have a Wraith. There's no rotating abilities unless you're, going to be very generous and say that the smoke canisters coming out of Bangalore, are gonna help you cross a building like that.
Well, we didn't really touch on that, but there's a second Bangalore now. Do you wonder if Ant have just sort of seen what Dreamfire has been able to do today and just kind of copied their homework a little bit?
Could be, yeah. Maybe maybe they're liking what they see out of that composition. They want to play that same kind of style. They think it's the end of the series, and it's time to get rowdy, time to get to rack up the kill points and race your way up the leaderboard. Because sometimes it gets to the second half of the day, and you need that.
It's a little bit of a quiet moment momentarily here into round number 2. Not a surprise when you take into account round 1 got rid of basically 4 squads.
There, but Moist Esports here that we're having a look at. Hopefully not going to fall prey to the same thing. They will, however, potentially fall prey to someone when they make this next rotation, Xenox, because as they will just have found out, the circle is not in their favor.
Yeah, and the good news as well is, fortunately, we haven't missed anything. Because obviously, round 1, we saw like 3-4 squads eliminated. Round 2, everyone was just sort of bunkered down in and around Cascade Falls. So it's now, as we head into the 3rd round, where teams will start to have to move from here. So this is actually where the action will start to begin. So we've kind of timed it perfectly as we come back here. 16 squads left. Everyone has to start making their way over towards the eastern side of the circle. We're already made their shift. We mentioned, of course, before Ant, the lack of rotation ability for them. So they're just walking on in, which fortunately, the pathway for them is actually sort of paved forward because of the teams like Ram have made their move, along with 505. It's only Ath that's actually directly in front of them in their building. So it might not be too bad for them, but it is going to get very congested here in this third round.
It is Team Op. They want more kills to their name, and they're going to try and get Ram down to do it. The EMP comes in. Crypto trying to use that as a little bit of cover and a little bit of respite. Will no longer have that option. He's going to, yeah, look, absolutely gone there. You can see Billy just having to completely leave his teammates, but Mexus is on the back of him. It's a tough 1v1 to take, and 505 have been doing considerably better since Mexus came into the squad. You're seeing Moist have a look at this now. Pricey, of course, picking up one of those kills to finish off. Dreamfire, kill leaders, no surprises there. Can they get Mexus back up? It looks like he will have found a safe position, but Moist are thinking about it. MT pushing around to have a look at this, but he can't go too far because MDY is actually in the space as well. Now, yeah, just to quickly talk about Mexus there, Xenox, he actually pulled in only for Game 6 of the last series last week, which they won. So he played one game, one win. That's how much of a difference Mexus is making to the 505 team.
Talk about adding that to your resume. One win, one game. Job done. He did get knocked again, by the way, but he has been brought back up this time permanently. So they do have the 3 for 505. Stormpoint has actually been where they've really turned it around today. They were basically a non-factor on World's Edge. Arcstar thrown out here from Pricey. Moist. I would say, honestly, as the day has gone on, they've just gotten better and better. Probably starting to feel that confidence as well. And the crack is there through that Arcstar push, and it is successful. Ath and MDY both falling at the exact same amount of time. North side, seeing a couple of teams there with ADL, and they've been able to push in 505, but it's Cascade Falls. That's where it is extremely congested.
Yeah, definitely a lot of teams thinking about staying up there. You know, we saw, I think it was Team Up actually, you know, back in the week where they had no name Xenox, that's where they held the top of the Cascade Falls themselves and just beamed everybody underneath them for a ridiculous, I think it was like 18 or 19 kill win, something like that. So, you know, perhaps we'll see a team in that region sort of do that again. Dreamfire have found themselves a rampage. Remember, we have moved on to the Season 15 patch now, so that's a fully, you know, a fully revved up, permanently revved up rampage here. So a good care package weapon, definitely improved from what it was before. They were united. You can see they're kind of looking up towards where Dreamfire are, I believe.
It's interesting, Dreamfire's just kind of copped the next circle too. Position. Basically what They Were United is looking at right now is where they kind of need to go. 4 kills for Dreamfire this game, but the late game might actually come down to their positioning and their placing rather than their ability to get those kills and wipe out squads. Moist Esports, pretty much like a lot of teams are just sort of waiting for this next push of these teams in Cascade Falls to make their way out, and they're ready for it.
Yeah, I haven't actually seen this position be like super successful before. So I'm interested to see how Moist plays this one out. I'm definitely going to be keeping a close eye on them to sort of to gauge that and recalibrate my expectations of it. You know, the cover's not amazing, right? But perhaps the way it works with the sightlines around it might help out. You just kind of need to be safe from Dreamfire, who are playing the high ground position. 10 seconds till this next ring. Xenox, 12 squads alive. I can guarantee you we're going to lose a couple coming into that, and Hermagerd is the first.
Yeah, and they're not going to be the last either in the next minute or so. Someone starts making its way in. Well, and Esports not one of those teams in Cascade Falls. They further north. Done well, actually, all things considered. We spoke about, obviously, their lack of rotation, but been able to just sort of walk their way in. Moist Esports, this is where they're going to get tested though. All these teams pushing out on towards their position. Daewoo's been able to get in behind them. Still got a couple that are directly in front. Dreamfire trying to get some shots in, but ADL have actually landed on their position as well. So they've got to deal with team beneath them and then teams rotating in and around them.
Fantastic spot. You can see there Dreamfire have so much priority over the teams below them. The Vault, which we actually haven't seen all that much of today, I feel, is going to go down in the hands of RTL as well as PK. All right, we're 4 squads down. Probably about what we expected there, but potentially still a couple to go. T4 are close to the next ring. Hiding behind the wall. All of a sudden, bullets stream in from multiple directions. Arc stars, thermites. Everything is being exhausted from the inventories to take down T4.
And you mentioned before about keeping an eye on Moist Esports. Well, they're still alive. They've done well. They've been able to avoid a large brunt of the damage, mainly because a lot of teams have elected to sort of try and go around them rather than through them. And obviously full armor, double purple and a red. ADL is going to go. I mean, they were basically hiding beneath Dreamfire. Probably not the place you really want to be. 4 kills going the way for TF. Roy, low, still alive, not for much longer. Daewoo, big frag grenade for Bastion, big wipe. Finally, it feels like for the first time today, Dreamfire lose a fight such as that. Usually they're just winning them, scrapping their way out of them. Daewoo United needed a big game going into match number 6 after this, and they're starting to get it. 5 squads left.
It was an odd one too. I mean, they had high ground at that position, and like almost ultimate high ground as well. So, oh wow, man, Daewoo have so much loot. They're gonna have to be quick about it though. Next zone is about to pop off, and Bastion, Easy Flash need to make their way back to Kissans. 505 here. You can see they're just starting to pile on some shots to Ant. We're moving up. They're also taking some bullets below from Moist Esports. The RE45 ringing out with the disruptor rounds.
Oh, good crack. Holiday down by Waltzy as well. Kind of game that Moist desperately need in terms of catching Buram United. They need the kills. Arguably, they probably need to go on and almost win this game as well. They get another kill onto Holiday. I think that's now double-digit kills for Moist, or at least thereabouts. 505 continue to impress here on Storm Point towards the end. Now into the final 3 squads remaining with Ant and Sneaky B both eliminated at the same time. 3 versus 3 versus 3 to close this one out for match 5.
A couple of Moist's wins have come later on in the series when they've needed to stand up, and it feels like they're in that position once again. 505, you can see they're well above the other teams here. Daewoo in a solid position. It's quite hard to tell, honestly, who's going to come out on top here. Teams are going to have to play with each other. They're going to try and use every trick in the book here to not make the first move.
Sometimes the first move might be the right move, but a lot of the times, if you do move first here, you are going to get sort of sandwiched. You are going to get pinched. 505. I think it comes down to who can get the first knock, who can start to really wound these other teams and then push off with that sort of blood in the water moment. It's Daewoo United that are starting to land these shots aggressively. Nexus is knocked down. Bastion, benefactor from that. But that first move from Daewoo has invited Moist. They now sense that they could be the ones, the third party, to come away with the win off of this. The sense is also gone. Yeah, Daewoo, they made that first move, and unfortunately, it's their last move as well. Moist do exactly that. They remain patient. They get the win.
Yeah, it was a reasonable thought process there by 505 Xenox. Bastion was completely isolated from the rest of the Daewoo team there. So they went down for him.